We did the Billy Smash.
Pete smashed my ash.
I did, man. I got you.
Happy Halloween, PT.
Happy Halloween, Billy.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the locker room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN. It's a Sunday morning.
Can we change my name for this show to the victorious Pete Thompson?
Before you start
the winner and still champion.
We had our Great Bay locker room, Pete Thompson, Billy Schweim challenge yesterday, radio Ron Ralston. I'll tell you what, before we get started, Pete, the Great Bay Country Club, not only is the course in magnificent shape, even after a rain-soaked night, we didn't have any problems with flooding, water issues, nothing. That course drained perfectly.
Yeah, the greens were outstanding. Actually, they were probably a little bit more receptive because they were a little soft, which is good. I mean, I got to tell you, those greens have been slicker than you know what, and they were rolling real true. And even the great tee to green, Tommy Green, was like, hey, man, this course is legit.
Yeah, he liked it. So, and then, of course, Pete, Radio Ron Ralston, we can't thank him enough. Rolled out the red fire engine red carpet last night.
He sure did.
Yesterday, and put on a great show as only Great Bay can do.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, you build a relationship with somebody, you work it over the years, and then you hope that they come through for you, and he did. And you know all the guys, right? So it's Ron, Radio Ron Ralston, Scott Dunn, Ryan Owens, Kevin Kelly, right? Who else you got outside? I gave you the guys. Now, listen, see what I have in my hand here?
Is that the scorecard?
No, this is Carol and Jen.
Jen was the
waitress. And Beth. Yep. Carol was the mixologist.
Right.
Beth and Michelle. And Beth was running around. Yeah, Beth at one point was looking for my shoes.
Yes, you couldn't find. You're yelling at me because I couldn't find my shoes. You couldn't find your my phone. You couldn't find your shoes.
By the way, can we tell all the listeners, if they don't already know, your score was DNF?
Yes.
You did not finish, and it was not a coach's decision.
And listen, you beat me fair and square, and you were better than me yesterday.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to give me any more.
Listen, I played in pain. Okay, I played hurt. I was like the Charlie Morton of the golf course yesterday.
You were.
Put me on that list with Kirk Gibson, Kurt Schilling. All right, I played hurt.
I think your best scores were on the par threes. On number 3, you made a 4, and on number 9, you made a 4, and then everything else after that.
I listen. If I ever play golf the way I played yesterday, I'll stop playing golf. Let's put it that way.
So where
I have never played that bad in my life.
Oh, I know. After the 4th hole, you had basically said that I had won.
No, that's not true. Because you got that birdie.
No, that was number 3. But then on number 4, I made a bogey and you made a 9.
That's because you know what? My short game stinks.
At one point, you went 9877. That's the last 4 digits of a telephone. So your score after 9 was 60. That's your age. I had a 52. That's close to my age.
Right.
I shot a 105, 52, 53 for a 105. Now, the scores that we need to read are T to Green shot a 3 over 38.
How about him?
And then he had 2 birdies on the back. He was 1 under on the back. He shot a very effortless 72. That's 2 over par, man.
How about the way he tees off with his irons and controls them and he outdrives with his irons.
His irons are longer than your drives.
That's right.
And they're longer than my drives and straighter than my drives.
He's a big dude, man.
He's a big dude, but a big-hearted dude, and I was so happy to have T to Green there. You know, we sat and watched the World Series a little bit, too, afterwards, and just to hear him tell stories about his time in the Braves organization and Leo Mazzoni and what he knew about Pitt. You know, it's funny because Tommy really strikes me as an analytical kind of fellow, like a guy that really studies the game.
Yeah.
And so he takes the same approach to the golf game. And so he was, I don't know if he helped you, but he helped me.
No, you know what? Because you guys, while I was doing the show under duress, we'll get into that.
It got done.
Under duress.
It was
See, that's how you threw me off, okay? You know me now. We worked together for some time. You know how to get under my skin, and the way you did it was you showed up late. All the ESPN equipment came 10 minutes prior to the show. We had problems. We didn't have enough time to iron them out. So you know that
that's how we do it here every week. I thought it would have worked.
No. See, that's how you got under my skin. That's how you got me.
I didn't. It wasn't on purpose. It really was.
Also, Tom Jackson,
Call
Mark
Tom
Grimes,
Jackson and Sons for Electrical. They're number one.
Mark Grimes is incredible.
Yeah, Grimesy, man.
Mike Gill was down there yesterday. My brother Bobby showed up. Brad Quast from the Eagles. How about the stories he was telling, man?
I think Brad might have had the most fun of all. That guy, I just want to spend one day in his body and his life because he looked like he had a blast.
But the stories he was telling.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
A great guy, charismatic. And then, who else was down there?
Coyle.
John Coyle from All Campus was down there yesterday. So we had a good crew, but I want to thank the Great Bay Country Club and Radio Ron Ralston. They did a great job. Ryan Owens was down there. It was so much fun.
Yeah, 100%.
And by the way, Pete, congratulations to you.
Thank you. What do I win?
And by the way, I think who won the closest to the pin for the Rentazos?
Scott McKay claimed that he won it, but I think he was just hungry and he wanted some pizza.
No, I think. I gotta get.
I don't even know how you're supposed to
people put this. We went first, so we don't know.
And you were too busy imbibing, so you didn't go back out on the course. At one point, I do remember you saying "Oh yeah, we got to go out and get those signs." I'm thinking what in the dark? You're going to drive a golf cart in the dark? Get out of here, man! You got to be kidding me.
So a lot of fun yesterday. We got to do that again, Pete.
Yes, with a little bit more early arrival time for the PT.
Yeah. Now
and Leanne. Now I take full responsibility.
So things bother me, right?
Well, sure.
You guys have accused me of letting things, but you know what bothers me?
Oh boy,
when things don't go it's the locker room with Billy Schweim. So when things don't go the right way, it's not your name hanging on the wall or anybody else. It's locker room with Billy Schweim.
Okay.
So when I first as soon as I walked out of the door, I find out that Brian Prop's not playing.
Right.
That throws me into a tizzy because we had this plan and we made commitments.
Yep.
And then you're late.
Yeah.
The setup's late, and then we have technical problems.
Yeah. See, if we didn't have the technical problems, we would have been in like Flynn.
Yes.
But,
I was very upset.
Once the cart got rolling,
yes,
it was a wonderful show.
Outstanding.
Everybody got on. Everybody had a chance to talk. It was an extended version. We went past the time there. It was great.
All right, and we have a great show today, as we do.
We do.
For Eagles pregame show, we have Scott Grayson going to be checking in here in a few minutes.
Yep.
Then at the top of the next hour, the 11 o'clock hour, we have a friend of yours.
Yeah, well, don't forget the fantasy guru, Brian Hartley, from Stell Exteriors. He's at 11:15, and then at 11:30, the one, the only, John Dorenbos is going to join the locker room with Billy Schweim and myself, Pete Thompson, as John's going to play a show at Philly Live. He is stoked, my friends, to be able to be right in the backyard. I mean, basically a long snap away from Lincoln Financial Field. He's right there at Philly Live, which is what they built, the hotel where the old Holiday Inn was there.
And by the way, Brian Hartley texted me this morning, asked who won the golf outing.
And how did you respond?
And I said, Pete Thompson crushed me.
Very good. That's
and
very kind.
You know what his reply was? Ha, 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 ha. And then you know what I texted back after that? I played hurt. And he went, yeah.
I got to tell you, man, you and I, we were really bad together for a long time. We were brothers in arms. You know?
Actually, your first four holes, you were outstanding.
No, I wasn't. I was 7-7. I was so scared. I wasn't scared, but I was nervous out of the gate on that first tee. I went back and I looked at the video again. Leanne took a video.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and the only person talking more than you is your brother, right? So it's like, oh, Pete, you gonna hit first? All right, you hit first. Like I'm standing over the ball. I'm addressing the ball. All right, so that means Billy, you're up next. So Billy, that Pete, that Billy.
And Bobby knows nothing about golf.
Right, he's just yapping away like this is your captain speaking, blobbity, 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 talkity. I'm like, shut up, dude. Then I hit it, right? And you guys are both so blind. How does he fly a plate?
It's amazing.
Neither you could see my golf ball. It's right in the fairway. Now, granted, it was screaming toward the 18th fairway, and it was way out of play. But I got a PT lucky bounce. It hit a tree. And look, you and I ended up, like 20 yards apart, maybe?
Yeah.
Both in the fairway.
And I thought I'd outdriven you.
You did outdrive me on one. First hole.
So it's Sunday. It's Eagles pregame show. We get the 2 and 5.
Do we have to talk about that team?
Well, yeah, a little bit. Because
Somebody's got to win the game, right, Billy?
Right.
That's my approach for the Eagles line today, and I'm eagled up. Look, I got my green shirt on. I got my hat
live
on
your Twitter and Facebook.
Yep.
So you can look at us there. We were all eagled up. But I'm going to stay eagled up. I always want the Eagles to win. The 2 and 5 Eagles play the 0 and 7 Detroit Lions.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to pick the Eagles in this game, though. Just based off of, did you water your plants before you left? Are you like a flower? Are you getting watered?
The Sixers won last night.
They won big, and they won big with defense too, which is encouraging, right? To see them come out and blow out the Hawks, they avenged the playoff loss, if that means anything, 122-94. I didn't watch a lot of it. I saw the score go by.
Yeah.
Hey, I was enjoying it. And then, of course, late last night, the Flyers they didn't really show up.
Yeah.
They lost. But you're talking about playing hurt. You know who played hurt?
Who?
Stephen J. Coates.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, he was a little wounded yesterday.
I think he got a head cold or something.
Is that what it was?
A real nasty one, too. I mean, he sounded like...
He called in from Calgary yesterday.
Right, but no. I'm saying on the air last night.
No. I didn't
he sounded great on the locker room.
He was even worse.
He was terrible I was listening to him on the air last night when I went to pick up my girlfriend.
No, matter of fact, as soon as we brought him up, I said, "Yo, Coach, are you all right? What's wrong?" He goes, "Oh, the air's dry in there," but he was really hurting.
Yeah. He had a bad cold. It sounded like, and God bless that. Like Tim Saunders was doing his best to kind of work him in, but yeah.
All right,
Coach is the man.
So it's our Eagles pregame show. We got a big show lined up today. We got a lot to do. I want to remind people the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing with the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant management service? That's My Winter Watchdog. You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, we'll talk with Scott Grayson. You're listening to the Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN. Eagles pregame show. We got the 0-7 Detroit Lions hosting the 2-5 Philadelphia Eagles. And as we do each and every Sunday, we go to our guy in the know. It's Scott Grayson, 973ESPN.com, Fox 29 News sports anchor. Let's go to the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room, Scott Grayson. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, guys. How you doing this Sunday?
Well, I'll tell you what, we had our golf outing yesterday, and Pete Thompson beat me, Scott.
Fair and square. He DNF'd, Grayson. He did not finish.
Oh, no.
He
Well, you ran out of golf balls?
No, he ran out of stamina. He like at about the turn at about 9. I was like, huh, you got a little.
I think I have a case of plantar fasciitis.
Got a little hitch in your giddy up, and he's just walking all funny. And then like, oh my!
I couldn't even walk by the 14th hole.
Yeah, every hole after that. And then I said, you know what? I go, Leanne's out here like as the referee. Why don't you just ride in with her and start drinking? He goes, that's a good idea.
Now, Scotty Grayson, a lot has been made this week about the Jalen Hurts, his play. And I saw a stat after the first 11 games, the comparison between Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. And if you look after the first 11 games, Jalen Hurts has thrown 15 touchdowns to Carson Wentz's 11. 8 interceptions. Carson Wentz had 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Hurts has 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 2,500 yards, 2,563 yards, and 2,635 yards. My point is they're pretty comparable over the first 11 games. Is he the quarterback moving forward?
You know, I'm still undecided on that. And a large part of the reason why I'm undecided on that is because I can't stand this offense. I just don't think this is a fair offense to evaluate him in the sense that he's being asked to do everything. And no other NFL quarterback is being asked to do, maybe other than like Lamar Jackson or a Patrick Mahomes, what he's doing. And I just think that, you know, it's really hard to – I really want to see him in a balanced or at least a more balanced offense. Something like they started with last week that I liked, which involved running the ball and then play action off of it. That's where I want to see Hurts. Now, I don't think he's running through all of his progressions before he's getting out of that pocket. I think he's hitting the eject button out of there pretty quickly. But those are things you can try to work with, perhaps, if you can see and work in the film room. And I obviously have no idea what's going on in the film room or what's going on behind the scenes during the week. But you know, at this point, Billy, I'm still not sure if he's the guy going forward. I still would like to see more. I would like to see more in a little bit of a different setting. I really don't know what you're going to be able to tell today. What you should be able to tell today is that this is a team they should be able to do and move the ball well against. So let's see if they do that.
We're talking with Scott Grayson, Fox 29 sports anchor. Follow him on Sports Sunday. Follow him on Twitter at @SGraysonFox29. Of course, you can read his articles on 973ESPN.com. The reason why I wanted to start off with that is because already you start to see people, like a quarterback country, Gardner Minshew. You're seeing reports in the newspaper that, Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. But I think their biggest problem, and we've discussed this several times already this year, is their defense and their lack of linebacker, the lack of skilled players, good linebackers in the lineup. They can't stop anybody. I mean, offenses get the ball, they march right down the field. It seems like the Eagles' offense is always playing catch-up.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking last week they caught a break with not having Waller for the Raiders, and they just simply did what they would have done with Waller with the other tight end, and he had a big day. It's absolutely mind-boggling to see how soft this defense is playing. And these guys in the NFL, they want to make plays. They don't want to wait for another team to make a mistake. They want to go out there and make plays and make things happen. And this team right now is not being given, in my opinion, the chance to do that. Now, if you're going to find a day where you're going to say to, Jonathan Gannon, be aggressive today. You do not have to prevent the deep threat here. Detroit does not have a guy who should be able to lift the top off your defense. So play those DBs closer. Let them play some bump and run. Let them get physical. Bring a safety up in the box. Take the run away, because what they have is they have a running back who can run the ball. DeAndre Swift is a guy you want to try to stop the run. So load up the box, make them try to beat you at the pass, and you very well may end up with some turnovers here. Those are the things I want. I want to see some blitzing today. I want to see you take it to Jared Goff, make him uncomfortable. I don't necessarily know that Gannon will, but if there is a game this season on the schedule that you can do it against, it's this one because, as I said,
they're ranked 25 in the league. They're 25th ranked defense in the league.
It's been hard to watch, and you guys don't need me to tell you that. It's been hard to watch, and that's where you come back to where you started, Billy. And that first question is Jalen Hurts the guy? If he's not the guy, you have the assets to be able to do something about that. You're going to have most likely from Miami a very high draft pick, depending on how the rest of the Eagles season goes. That could be a top 10, top 5 pick, perhaps. And then you add another first-round pick in there. You have the ability to do things, but you also have the ability to say, look, we can win with Jalen Hurts. Let's spend at least 2 or all 3 of those picks making the defense younger and better.
And Scott, a lot has been made about, if they don't win, if they don't put some wins together, you could be looking at maybe Fletcher Cox. I mean, Fletcher Cox hasn't really been playing well. I mean, I like Fletcher Cox, but he's getting up there and he hasn't really been producing. He could be a casualty of the trade down the road.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you're starting to hear a little bit of some trade talk with Fletcher Cox. Teams are interested in him. There's been calls made to the Eagles. Now, I don't think Howie would part with him unless he could get a high draft pick for him. And I don't think anybody wants Fletcher Cox for anything, higher than, say, a 4th or a 5th round pick. So I don't know that deal is going to happen. I don't think it will. But I think today's going to do a lot, guys, to determine what the Eagles are here at the trade deadline on Tuesday. And my gut tells me they're going to make some sort of a move of some sort. I mean, you could sit here and say they have enough draft picks right now. What could Howie possibly want more for? But that's what he does. He stockpiles draft picks and he does stuff with them. And I have a feeling something's going to happen on Tuesday. And I think the outcome of this game is going to do a lot to determine what kind of a move that might be.
Yeah, Scott, that fire sale is the word that's been thrown around, especially if they lose the game. Andre Dillard's name I saw in there as well. It's tough, buddy, when the narratives going into a winless Lions game is, Darius Slay homecoming or Avonte Maddox is from Detroit. I mean, they got nothing to write about football-wise because it's so poor, the quality on the field.
Yeah, it has been. This game is you have to bet on it really to get excited about it, I guess, because it's not something that's really going to drive any TV ratings home. I mean, look, to me, if you want a reason to watch this game, you need to figure out if this team comes out flat, you got a real problem at head coach. If one side of the ball comes out flat, well, you got a problem with that coordinator. If the offense continues to look inept and the play calling is just awful again, I mean, I've already said I'm out on Sirianni as the offensive coordinator, but I wonder at what point, somebody else takes over play calling and it's mandated to him that has to happen from above. Unless he's doing what they want, and that very well might be the case. He might be doing what Jeffrey Lurie says. I just want you to throw the ball a lot, make Hurts get challenged downfield and around. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But today, those are the things I'm watching in this game. I want to see fight. I want to see fight from these guys. Play for pride.
Yeah.
Go out there and win this game. You need to win badly. And maybe, you look at the rest of the schedule, and guys, you win today. That's your 3rd win. You have the Giants twice and Washington twice. There's 4 more. You can get to 7 wins. And there's some other winnable games still out
Broncos,
there. That perhaps you can
the
get
Saints.
Yeah, I mean, you could get to 8. You could still get to 8. I mean, maybe 9 wins this season, which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
But it's possible because of how pathetic your schedule is.
You want to see Gardner Minshew at some point now that Flacco's out of the room, and or are you not on that at all?
I'm not to the point where I want to see Gardner Minshew. I mean, I want to continue to see Jalen Hurts. Again, I want to see him in a little bit more of a more balanced offense. The only thing you're going to learn by putting Minshew out there is whether or not it's the offense or the quarterback that's been the problem. And quite frankly, if Sirianni would have to call a different kind of game, I would think. With Minshew in there, he's not quite the runner that Jalen Hurts is. So the offense would have to be a little bit different, in which case are you still able to evaluate what Jalen Hurts gave you?
Right.
To me, I don't really want to see Minshew right now unless Hurts gets
I'm
him out there.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Scott. It's not time yet. All right, the Eagles go into today's game in Detroit, Motor City. They're 3.5-point underdogs.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear exactly.
They're 3.5-point underdogs.
Yeah. It's I don't really know what to tell you. This is just one of those crazy games that you just.
That's got his tongue.
I mean, look, when you look at Detroit, honestly, I feel, guys, when I talk about Detroit, I see a team that is actually playing for their coach. They're playing well. They're fighting hard. They've been in a lot of close games. This team's waiting and dying to get over the hump. And I guarantee you, all week they've looked at a team that has a little cut. You know, the Eagles are that body in the water with blood coming out, and the Sharks are starting to swim around. That's the Lions. And they can sense and feel that they could have a win this week. They could finally get a win. They know it. So if the Eagles come out with anything less than a strong effort from the get-go, unfortunately, I think the Lions could jump on them, and it could end up getting rough. Because the Eagles to me are a team right now where you're starting to see a little bit of finger pointing. You heard Fletcher Cox complaining a little bit. Yeah. If they lose today, guys, I think it's all on.
He might lose the locker room.
A lot more rough stuff from the locker room.
Scott Grayson with us here. Hey, Scott, I texted Gil while you were talking there because I had forgotten exactly what his score prediction was, and I like to have it all written down, of who predicted what. And he sent me back his prediction, which we will reveal, but he said 28-24 Lions. Deuce gets the game ball for running backs running the ball down the Eagles' throats. Wouldn't that be a narrative that would piss off the Philly fans? Like, first of all, you're melancholy because that's maybe who a lot of people wanted to be the head coach. And secondly, Philadelphia native DeAndre Swift would be jamming it down your throat over and over again.
Yeah, well, like I said, to me, I think he's the one true weapon that I think the Lions have. And so he's the guy, look, Bill Belichick has been, as much as I am not a Belichick fan, what he has done well is he said, okay, I'm going to look at the other team and I'm going to figure out who is not going to beat me today. DeAndre Swift needs to be that guy. He is the guy who is not going to beat you today. If Goff comes out and actually plays well and he somehow finds room downfield to throw the ball, okay, fine. But DeAndre Swift is not going to be the guy to beat me today. At least that's the way that I would do it. And I have far less football knowledge than Jonathan Gannon. But, but you're right. I mean, Mike's right. The way to beat the Eagles is to just run the ball down their throat, wear down that defense, let DeAndre Swift go off against a team that, and let Deuce have his day. You're right. I mean, that's the way to beat this team right now today.
All right, Grayson, it's time for your pick.
I'm going against Mike because to me, it's pride time. It's time for the Eagles to show up and play with some pride. This is a big game, like I said, to really turn the season around or to decide you're going to go in the toilet. And I just don't see the guys like a Jason Kelsey, a Lane Johnson, these younger players who don't really want to continue to go down the path they've been on. Devontae Smith, a Jalen Hurts even. I think there's a lot of pride to be played for today. I think they see a winnable game, just like I said about the Lions. And I think, quite frankly, they should beat the Lions today. So I see this as more like a 27-14 Eagles.
All right. There it is, Scott Grayson. Grayson, as always, we appreciate your time on Sunday morning.
Yeah, you look great, buddy. Go hit some fungos.
Let's go, Birds, and we'll check you out tonight on Sports Sunday on Fox 29 News. Thanks, Scotty.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
There's Scott Grayson on the Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline. Of course, you can also hear him every Monday with Mike Gill for Grayson's Grades. Follow him on Twitter at @SGrayson, Fox 29. And he's got the Eagles, Pete.
Yeah, I think that's impressive because I want some of that optimism that he must be drinking at his son's baseball game there. You saw the hitting cage behind him. Scott Grayson should win Dad of the Year, Sure. I mean, he does these hits with us, and the one morning his daughter's bouncing on his knee, and then the next thing he's supporting his son. I mean, he's Mr. Mom. He drives him everywhere. He does everything, I love the guy. I also love the fact that he has faith in the Eagles when you and I don't, because I don't know your pick yet, but I know mine, and it's not for the team wearing
the Eagles. You have to show me something before I start picking them. All right, the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers, sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process from contract signing to closing, from the shore to center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey, PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, Call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Hey, by the way, the locker room at Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day meal.
$5
During the Eagles season, game day, get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Get down to Blitz's all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitz's, home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big dill. Now, friends, let me tell you about Maserati the Main Line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia.
You're so funny. You were just like trying to punch the joke on the pickle so bad that you were like, oh, wait, there's more spots.
They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati the Mainline also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale, as Maserati the Mainline offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointment and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati the Mainline at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Eagles talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Pete Thompson, Billy Schweim, right here on 97.3 ESPN. We're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. You know, looking back at Jalen Hurts' numbers last week, Pete, he was 18 and 34.
Wow, I send you one article telling you why Wentz is better than Hurts, and you're still on this. Like, that was 5 days ago I sent you that article.
Well, it's, you know, I mean, I'm tired of people picking on Jalen Hurts because the coaches, I think, like Grayson alluded to, we haven't been able to see the real Jason Hurts and what he can accomplish, because I think the offensive play scheme is so hard, it's so pathetic and so horrible.
But you know what?
That you can't even judge, and it's not fair to start calling for Gardner Minshew or anybody else.
Okay, he raised a very good point too. He said that, to be honest with you, that Hurts is the better option of the two quarterbacks that they do have on the roster. That if you were going to put Gardner Minshew in, I don't think that's an unfair question to ask. That's why I asked him. Like, at what point do you look? You got the guy. You gave up a draft pick at one point. Now you just got one back when you said Flacco out, but you got a draft pick for him for Gardner Minshew. You obviously thought he was worthy of coming into your room, and then you're not even worried about playing him at all when you're not doing well.
And there's an article in the Inquirer today from Murphy, David Murphy, suggesting that, you know, Carson Wentz's numbers are like he's back to his old form. But I'm looking at the stat that's more compelling for me. The first 11 games here, Carson Wentz, like I said, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 2,563 yards with a 63% completion rate, right? Yeah. Jalen Hurts, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, one less. Couple more touchdowns, one less interception, 2,600 yards, and 56% completion rate. But here's a big difference: the rushes. Hurts has got 112 rushes for 633 yards, and Wentz was 32 rushes for 81 yards.
Well, and that's my question, right? I mean, Nick Sirianni, there's not a lot of body of work, right? We're 7 games in, and he's making it very difficult to gather information and get an idea of whether or not Hurts is the guy. That's why this question's so hard to answer. I mean, people are saying, like, Sirianni's running a high school offense. Is that true? Or is it because he's calling the plays, trying to emphasize what Hurts does well, a.k.a. run the football, not throw the deep ball?
It's tough to tell. You can't get a gauge on it. I mean, you know, it's so funny because they had 10 days to prepare for the Raiders, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that first drive, it looks like that's what they worked on the whole week. And then after that, he wasn't able to make an adjustment.
Right. And they came out flat. Yeah. It
on both sides of the ball, Pete.
Yep. And if they come out flat today, then to me, that's ball game. That's you've lost. I mean, the locker room is already teetering on the edge. Okay. I think we've seen some comments. Fletcher Cox made some comments. I think that they're already teetering on the edge, but they haven't gone over the cliff. I think if you lose to the winless Lions today, and that's very possible because that's what I'm picking, I think if that happens, let's put it this way, okay? You know how hard it is to get Eagles tickets.
Yes.
Right? My family has some Eagles tickets. My dad, my brother. I am going to the Chargers game, and I got offered from my dad and my brother. Everybody was like, hey, do you want to go? I mean, if anybody that's listening.
So you'll actually be able to do the show because it's a 4:05 start.
That is correct. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm doing the show and then I'm driving up. Now, maybe I had never even thought about that. Boy, do I work on Sundays?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'll be here.
All right.
I'll be here.
Another aspect of, and we alluded to this with Grayson, I just want to comment on it. You know, you're starting to hear grumblings of trade this guy, trade that guy. You have, Fletcher Cox is up there in age. Brandon Graham, we don't know what his status will be for next year. And with all the draft capital that the Eagles have, look at what the Cowboys did. Their last 3 draft picks, they spent a number 1 pick on a defensive player.
I mean, the trade deadline's coming up, right? They've already made some moves with Zach Ertz and Joe Flacco, but there's other guys that are in the final years of their contract. Right. And are those guys, you heard Scott Grayson talk about that. Obviously, Fletcher Cox has not been the Fletcher Cox of old, but there's teams out there that would scoop him up in a heartbeat if the price was right.
If the price is right.
Yeah, I feel like Bob Barker, Dillard, that's another one. Like Andre Dillard has not been like
he hasn't been playing poor. He's been playing okay.
Sure, but he got beat out
Right.
100%. He got beat out.
By the way, Jordan Mailata didn't look too good last week.
Nobody looked good last week.
No.
That's the problem. And then let's look at people like the expiring contracts are Derek Barnett, defensive lineman Ryan Kerrigan. Where's Ryan Kerrigan been? They signed him to come in and make a difference. He hasn't done much. Kelsey, God, I'd hate it if Kelsey got traded. That would really break my heart. And Rodney McLeod, also expiring contracts. So, I mean, there's people out there that if Howie wants to continue this, let's make a deal, wheeling, dealing, stealing, he always thinks he's one up in somebody.
Right. Well, the telltale sign will be today. Obviously, the Eagles, if they win the game, I think they salvage their season because it's a game. It's a must win for them today. Is it okay to say it's a must win today, Pete?
100%. Andy Reid wouldn't agree with it, but I would. 100%. It's
Absolutely.
absolutely a must win. Absolutely.
Javon Hargrove.
By the way, on the text message board, congrats, Pete, on your big win. I can only hope our Eagles have half the intestinal fortitude that Billy showed playing in pain. Seriously, we should come home from Detroit today with a win. Go Birds.
609-40309 is the text board. You can always chime in to anything we're talking about. How about Javon Hargrove's play? I mean, you look at him. He ranks number one among NFL defensive tackles with 6 sacks.
Well, that's the Hargrave that they thought they were getting when they traded for him or when they signed him. And he wasn't healthy. Like, he wasn't able to be healthy. You're now finally seeing what he brings to the table when he's healthy. And, I mentioned Fletcher Cox a minute ago. Fletcher Cox gets double teamed all the time. If Fletcher Cox is double teamed, that helps out the guy right next to him who is.
Yeah, but what? The front four hasn't been able to stop the run. I mean, I know the linebacker play has been less than stellar.
Yeah.
But still, what's the Eagles defense been known over the years?
A run stopping defense first, and then
it would have been anything but.
Yeah, I mean, here at the end of the day, there's 2 things that scare me about this game. Number one, the Eagles are making average to good quarterbacks look like Hall of Fame quarterbacks when they play them, right? And the quarterback for the Lions is pretty talented throwing the football, right? Number 2, they haven't been able to stop the run, and DeAndre Swift is that you heard Grayson say it. That's their one weapon, right? That's their one big weapon. Let's see what they're giving up.
By the way, the Eagles defense ranks 29th in the league against the rush.
Yeah, they're giving up an average of 133 yards a game. I mean, their total defense is 17, but 29 against the rush. What do you think the game plan is? Even Andy Reid, who didn't like to run the football, ran the football against him. Did you hear this stat too? You know who's doing the game? Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. Now, I didn't like Vilma so much that I tweeted about it last week. That's how much I disliked Vilma's comments. I just thought he was like a half a second short or half a second late on all his observations. I thought he was clueless in the booth. And then they're 0-7 in the last 7 games that Kenny Albert's done. The Eagles are.
Right. Oh, boy.
I mean, if you want more stats, because you're a stats guy.
I'm a stats guy. Here's a stat for you. The locker room at Blitz's Market with a discount your Eagles game day meal. You know that, Pete?
I like that stat.
$5 Italian hoagies when you mention the locker room. Get down to Blitz's Market all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitz's now is online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitz's is home with a dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal, Pete.
It is. Sorry, I was queuing up something else. Yes, it's a big deal. I'll give away the pickle too. So, if you need the pickle, I'll give it to you.
First hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process. From contract signing to closing, the shortest center city, and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine. Run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunning. Or you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club. Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey to attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour of the locker room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN Eagles pregame show. Eagles head to Detroit to take on the 0-7 Detroit Lions, and something's got to give today, Pete.
Somebody's got to win. It's hard to be enthusiastic on this Sunday. I mean, maybe that's because I channeled all my energy into kicking your ass yesterday on the golf course. I'm glad to see that, that roundhouse Cobra Kai kick that I gave to your knee worked.
Yeah, you gotta be good.
That must be why you were limping.
You threw me off, though. Coming in late yesterday, that kind of hurt.
Yeah.
Tweaked me a little bit.
I feel you.
Hey, Pete, we got a wild second half of the show coming up.
I can't wait, man. Like,
because you're the guest you got today.
That's a good get.
Yeah, because he's such an interesting guy. Not only obviously his story off the field is about as interesting as his on the field story.
I mean, the Eagles saved his life. Trading him
Right.
saved his life because he had to have a
physical
examination, and because of that, aortic aneurysm, immediate heart surgery. I mean, oh my goodness. It speaks volumes too, by the way, that Jeffrey Lurie gave John Dornbos a Super Bowl ring. I mean, he was as much a part of that Super Bowl team as anybody else, quite frankly.
His story, his younger life was a pretty traumatic story.
Very much so. And, he details a little of that in his Magic show. And we're going to have him on because he's coming to Philly Live. He's going to be at Philly Live next weekend, as a matter of fact. Finally, he gets to – I mean, he's come down to the AC properties. I just saw him recently. Susan and I saw him at the Borgata. I mean, he had an excellent show.
It's just amazing.
Have you not seen him live?
No, I have not.
Oh, I got to get you some tickets. I got to get you some tickets. You got to see him live. America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent.
He made it. I mean, he was still with the Eagles at that point.
Right.
He's always had a deck of cards in his hand. He's a genius with that. And I mean, he that was 2016, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Are you in the Magic?
I think it's awesome. I mean, am I into it? I'm always fascinated of like, no way. Like that. I love the
right.
reveal.
I like watching it, but I never people get into it, like trying to do it themselves.
Oh, no.
I never did. I was never interested in that.
I got 2 left feet. I can't hide a card. I can't palm a coin. I can't do any of that.
It's pretty amazing some of the tricks they do. You can't see how they actually do it, but obviously it's not magic.
No, I mean, it's all a subterfuge. And you know what? You just reminded me of something that I want to ask him about, a guy named Ricky Jay. Ricky Jay in the magician's world is revered. So, usually you get John Dornbos on, you're asking about the current state of the Eagles, you're asking about football things or questions like that, and you're right. John's whole life has all been a magic trick, quite frankly.
Right.
Did you ever hear the story about how he faked his resume?
No.
Yeah. He, when he was in college, when he was basically coming out of high school, trying to go to college, he was trying to get a Division I scholarship somewhere. And back then you edited together like a recruiting video.
Sure.
Right. Well, he basically took somebody else snapping the football, put like basically his face on the beginning of it, and then put all the other clips of the other guy, and then that got him the gig. And then when he got there, then he learned how to snap the football. By
the way, not only did he learn how to do it, he perfected it. His snap average was like the lowest they've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that's because again, he's gifted with his hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't wait to have him on. He's going to be on 11:30. We got the Guru on at the top of the hour here. It's going to be good times, Billy.
All right, I'm looking.
That second hour is going to fly.
That second hour, as the show does in general, every Saturday and Sunday in the locker room here with Billy Schweim. Saturday with Scott McKay. Sunday with Pete Thompson, who kicked my butt on the golf course yesterday. I'll let you revel in your glory
today only, and then you're going to move on.
Then today it's over and done with.
No, I'll get a whole year of bragging.
All right, hour 2, the fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, former Eagle John Dornbos, Pete Thompson, Billy Schweim in the locker room on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. We are back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, October 31st. It's Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, all the
Now,
ghouls
did you
and
dress
goblins.
up at all? Like, were you in school on
No.
Friday?
Yeah, I was in school on Friday.
Okay.
I had my, it was Spirit Week or something. So
Yeah,
I
but-
wore my college and high school stuff.
You didn't wear a costume? Did
No.
did the kids wear
Do you know what?
costumes?
Guess what? I always wear with my daughter, Eliza Grace, who you talked to last night, the
Yeah,
Doopy Doo.
That's right.
Um,
So she's poised, man. She's
she's
got,
got 4.
Yeah.
Count them, 4
different
costumes. Like, is
Well,
enough,
Dad,
enough's
why have
enough?
I have one if I can get into your wallet for 3
What?
more?
It's unbelievable.
Just go to Dad.
She was
He's got the
she
money,
was Wonder Woman.
right?
She was a fan leader from Zombies,
Okay.
which is like a cheerleader with a
Right.
fan leader.
The fear leader.
Fear leader.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'm sorry, fear leader. And then she got 2 other costumes.
Yeah, well, you can't have enough.
You know what? Listen, she's the youngest Schweim out of all our family members.
So,
She's spoiled.
yeah,
Everybody's spoiled.
very much so. Yeah.
Her mother's the biggest culprit.
Hey, now, this is what I know. I was a big fan of Wonder Woman when I was a kid. I don't know about
Was?
you.
What was her name? Linda
Carter.
Carter.
Oh, my, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
She's like in her 70s and she's still gorgeous.
Farrah Fawcett was my.
Yeah. Did you have that poster?
Yes, I did.
That everybody did?
Of course.
My brother, it was starting to fall apart. He got it framed so it wouldn't deteriorate anymore.
All right, let's spin the wheel, Pete. Let's get some Flyers or Sixers talk in. Ready? What are we talking about first?
Flyers.
All right, let's go Flyers.
Yeah.
We had Steve Coates on the radio yesterday. We talked to him from Calgary, talking about the spirit, the fact that this team has scored the first goal in now 5 of their first 7 games is a pretty good stat, a pretty telling sign. Remember, this team used to get behind so quick.
I mean, the big thing is they had a good Western Canada trip, right? It was successful before last night. Obviously, they did not look that good at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome, right? And I love the fact that Calgary's still playing in that building, by the way. I mean, that Saddle Dome's been around since Lanny McDonald had that duster on
Remember
his
that
face, right?
red fire engine, red
How
duster?
could you not? Joel Otto, who else played on those teams? Young Joe Newendike,
Al McGinnis,
right? Young Joe Newendike played
Al
on those
McGinnis.
teams. Yeah, big slap shot.
Yeah.
And they were wearing, that was the one thing I do remember about last night's game, that Calgary was wearing those throwback unis.
I love that.
I love those unis.
You know, they used to be the Atlanta Flames before
Way
that.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Flyers end their Western Canada trip 2-1. So they get 4 out of 6 points. That's good.
Hart stopped 2 out of 35 shot attempts early on, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was 1-0 for a long time. Then when Matt Tkachuk made it 2-0, I remember watching that goal and I thought, okay, that's basically going to do it. And then I told you I was alternating between, actually, I had the TV broadcast on and then I was listening to the Coatsy and Tim Saunders on our radio station.
That's
So,
the way to
I mean,
do it.
that's the way to do it. And look, the thing that's interesting is they had 20 shots, but 11 of the Flyers' 20 shots came in the third period. So that's too little, too late for me.
By the way, it's the first time that they've been shut out this year.
Yeah, and the first time since they got shut out last year against the Islanders. So, I mean, they've been high scoring. I hope that continues when they come back home and get on home ice and sort of get their bearings straight. I think they're home with Arizona, and then they go back on the road, sort of. They're at Pittsburgh, I believe, on Thursday. So
that is correct.
You are correct, sir.
Pete, I am still. What's going on with Ellis? We still don't know. I mean, he's been out for some time now.
That's the $1 million question. I mean, I think he had a nagging injury?
It's a lower body injury. Right?
Yeah, well, it's hockey. You know, they're not going to tell you upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. I mean, just give us the answer. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I mean, and that's their top guy, right? That's their top defenseman. But they've been able to sort of
so the
piecemeal together, and Justin Braun got moved up to that first pairing, and he's been pretty good in that first pairing so far.
Flyers now what 4-2-1.
Right.
I'm still impressed, even though they had a lackadaisical. Now we didn't get to see much of the game. I actually was talking to you on the phone while we were watching the game.
Yeah, no, I didn't see
But,
I didn't see a ton of it, but I mean, like I said, I was sort of in transit. Like I had it on at home, and then
by the way, I didn't
get
get any college football. We were busy all day. We were on the golf course. I didn't get to watch any college football for any length of period of time.
That was part of my routine this morning. I went through and made sure, because I know you love the college football. I'm like, all right, let's see who
Penn
actually
State
won.
got beat again,
Penn
third
State
straight in a
got
row.
beat. Michigan State beat Michigan. My boy, what's my guy's name that with the mustache that was the referee. God, I'm blanking on his name right now. Rich. Rich, that's a high school football referee. He loves Michigan State. Like anywhere he goes, he wears MSU gear. And I always laugh at him like, come on, man, but they can't beat Michigan. Well, guess what? You know who else is happy today?
So,
Ike Reese.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's thrilled because Michigan State beat Michigan.
And then, of course, we had the World Series last night. Atlanta Braves go 3-1.
Yeah, how about that? So the Braves are on the precipice. There's a fancy word.
How about you?
They're on the edge, of
you say the word precipice, and now I look across, you get this big smile on your face.
Yeah, because I just can't believe that at 11:07 on a Sunday morning where I'm dog tired and I'm exhausted from both beating you and the sacrament that came after it. I can't believe I threw that word out. Precipice. That's a fancy one. I'll have to remember that.
Oh, that's great. And then, of course, the 76ers last night.
So let's look at some of the Sixers stuff.
Before we get into the game.
Yeah.
Now,
sure.
Do you like Kate Scott?
I don't have a problem with her. Everybody's hating on her. I don't have a problem with her. I think her voice sounds very professional and very she has good diction and delivery. Okay. There are some announcers that I do not care for their voice.
Yeah, but there's a lack of emotion, a lack of. It's like she's trying to be too.
She didn't grow up here. She's not like. Look. We were spoiled. Zumoff grew up here. He's a Philly guy. When you get Merrill Reese grew up here. He's a Philly guy. He went to Temple. Zumoff went to Temple.
And you can feel it coming across the radio.
100%.
Tom McGinnis isn't a Philly guy, but you can feel his passion.
That's true, but he does live down here at the shore, so
that's
he's sort of a Jersey guy.
Well, he is now, but I'm just saying. And by the way, let's send out our
well wishes.
To him.
We're thinking of you, Tommy. Yep.
Man.
Very much
keeping our fingers crossed.
100%. I
was devastated when I heard that news.
I don't understand how you're going to say I'm not giving Jalen Hurts a chance, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to rip on Kate Scott.
First of all, I didn't say anything about hate. I didn't rip her. I'm just saying she's in a tough position to follow a guy like Zumoff. It's like
it's
impossible.
Not fair.
Jim Jackson had to follow Gene Hart.
Yeah,
and Scott Fransky had to follow Harry Callis.
That's true, although Scott Graham was in there too. Here's the other thing. Okay, like sometimes they'll mix an announcer in ahead of time. So Jim Jackson was in sort of ahead of time. Remember?
Right.
Like when Jim Jackson came in, he'd done Utica Devils, he'd done hockey, he knew the game. Right now, I'm not saying Kate Scott doesn't know the game. She's done a ton.
Right.
You can tell that she's very prepared.
It's going to take me a long time.
It's just going to take a while to get comfortable with it.
I just think
don't throw her out yet.
It's almost you want to watch the game with your shoes off, with the lights out in the living room. Like she's got this, like, I don't know, but like I said, it's
so it's soothing to you.
Well, that's not what you want for a basketball game.
You think you're about to get a massage.
Are you a Doris Burke fan?
Not really, but I admire.
How about Mowens?
Look, I admire her reporting.
I like Mowens better than.
No, I'd go the opposite way on that. Beth Mowen, it's not Mowens.
Whatever.
Beth Mowen, her voice does grate on me a little bit.
She's got that gruff, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no wonder you like her. You sound just like her. No, I'm not going to rip
And
anyone.
I'm not hating on Kate Scott. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying you're hating on her, but you asked me what I feel, and I feel like the book is not written yet. I actually also don't see the uproar. I don't understand why people are so fired up. She's in a winless position. You're replacing a voice that's been there for so long.
And she's a female and broadcasting in a male-dominated thing for a long time. I just don't know.
I don't care about her gender at all.
The credibility. Is there any credibility issues there?
Oh no. She calls a very good game, in my opinion. She knows what she's doing. She sets up Ala where she's supposed to set up Ala. Keep in mind too.
Matter of fact, you know what I heard her say the other day?
I don't.
She actually quoted Zuba saying, "Turning garbage into gold."
Oh, she did. Oh, she might have to.
She
pay
actually
for that.
used that.
Is there a royalty? Does she pay like a royalty each?
And Abdel Nabi started laughing. He goes, "Oh, I see what you did there."
Yeah, Ala. Now, are they traveling? Do you know that answer?
I don't know.
I think they're doing the home games, but I don't think they're on the road. I think they're doing those like they're calling them from the Wells Fargo Center.
And then, of course, the Sixers won what?
You forgot the score
94,
already?
Yeah.
122. You're
94.
You're beautiful. 122-94. They're 4-2. Okay, 28-point margin of victory. So that's big. And
against an Atlanta team that,
you love stats, right?
Yeah.
You love stats. Since the start of the 2017-18 season, Philadelphia has a 68-1 record in the 69 games where they've held opponents under 100 points.
By the way,
boom. That's your magic.
Embiid only had 19 points last night.
Fine. He did. Yeah, because they didn't play him a lot because they were killing him.
Right.
You got to rest him somewhere.
Shake Milton, 11 off the bench. Matisse Thybulle, 11 off the bench.
I think Matisse Thybulle was key on the defense, too. I mean, he had 4 blocks and 3 steals. You're looking at the offense. Look on the defense. I mean, that's it's the first time he's had at least 10 points, 3 steals, 3 blocks. They haven't had somebody do that since Danny Green did that last season against New York. So, Tobias Harris is going to get his 23 and 11, right? So
Sixers are now 4-2. Behind the New York Knicks, the surprising Knicks.
So now they play the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow to kick off the month of November. And
Dillard. I mean, Andre. Who's the guy we want? What's his name? Not Dillard. Hillard.
Lilliard.
Lilliard.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good Billy struggle on his side of the board there. My goodness.
See, I'm not like you guys. I don't look at the computer. It's all in my head.
Oh, it's definitely
you
in
guys.
your head.
I know what you guys do. You, Josh, Mike, you use the computer and I take all the credit for it.
Well, no, it's not using the computer to know a guy. And Gil's brain is a computer. Don't include him and me.
Josh is too.
And Josh is Josh is the more technical stuff. He'll tell you that was January 14th, 1973, and it was 53 degrees outside. It was partly cloudy at Old Ford Field and such and such, and you're like Crosby Field. What? Like Josh has the.
Now, by the way, in our we're getting ready to transition over to fantasy football. You're 5-1. You're 5-1, 6-1.
I won again last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm in 3 leagues, and as of right now, it's just the Thursday games. I'm up at every one of my games, my matches, whatever. By like 6-10 points. So I have most of my guys playing today.
Well, and I survived the bye. The bye was a struggle for me. And and also in my other league, I survived my moronic decision to have Jamar Chase on the bench. Whoops. Guy had over 200 yards, and I still won.
Because we have the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, coming up next. The second hour of the Locker Room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season that appeal to everyone. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. And, of course, when you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston, Ryan Owens for us. But, Pete, how about the food there? It's to die for.
I got to tell you,
unbelievable.
I learned a little secret.
Wow.
They have these pub chips, okay, that I basically would run you over with my car to get these pub chips. And the girl yesterday said, did I want fries with my sandwich? And I said, yes. And then I said, oh, no, wait. I actually want those chips. You have those chips, right? She started laughing. She's like, yeah, we get a lot of people asking for those. And then I sort of started, those chips you can't get them out of a bag, okay?
No.
They actually fry those chips.
Right there.
So they're like fried chips, basically, in the oil and
the golf course. The golf course is phenomenal. The food is delicious. The atmosphere is excitable.
Stupendous.
It's unbelievable. There's another one. All right.
We're on the precipice of the fantasy guru.
Hey, have you heard of My Winter Watchdog, Pete?
Arr, arr, arr.
You should, because My Winter Watchdog is New Jersey's premier vacant home management service. My Winter Watchdog, those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on your house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or shoot Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. untitlechapter.com. All right, when we return, it's the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. All right, let's get right into it. It's time for the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Stell Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite Installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stell Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stell Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Or give them a call at 609-399-1010. 609-399-1010 for Stell Exteriors. Let's go to the Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room my fantasy football guru and yours, Brian Hartley. Good morning, Guru.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing today?
I'm a winner. I'm
licking my wounds.
Hey, Billy, I got a question for you. What do they call when you go drinking after golf? What do they usually call that bar?
The 19th hole.
The 19th hole. So for you, is it the 14th hole now? You only play 13, your last one. Does that make it the 14th hole?
So Brian, you know how Charlie Morton played on a broken leg the other day in the Braves, and we all know about Kurt Schilling's bloody sock and Kirk Gibson's playing on no knees. I played with one leg yesterday. I was in so much freaking pain. It wasn't even funny. Yourself. And I'm not making excuses.
You're Michael Jordan with the flu?
That's right, Michael Jordan with the flu. Listen, I'll take the loss. He was better than me yesterday.
Every day.
So I'll concede.
Every day.
Well, I'm just not the fantasy football guru. I did predict this last week as well. Now, imagine if you had to carry your own bag like I had suggested. You might have made it off the first tee box.
And then when I had Pete Thompson hit a birdie, when Thompson hit a birdie on that first
Tommy Green and Scott McKay, good golfers. Right? I mean, I beat them on the hole.
You should see him right off the tee box. The ball at great elevation, landed down into the green with a ball mark. He was right closest to the pin. That just killed me and frustrated the rest of my game.
Well, maybe you could bring him up and you could do some mini golf on the boardwalk. Maybe you have a better chance there.
Right? How dare I play well? Right, Hartley? Jeez.
Hey, Guru. Everybody, I got through my bye week okay. In one fantasy football league, I'm 5-2, and the other two, I'm 2-5. So, it's tough, especially when you have. Like, I've got Jerry Jeudy and Christian McCaffrey. I got like 3 or 4 guys on IR.
Yeah, well, the good news is Jerry Jeudy's back today, and he should be playing. The question.
So we got to figure out if we're going to play him or not. Uh-oh. Did we lose Brian?
He's cutting in and out. Hartley, you with us?
So Jerry Jeudy is coming off the IR. You there, Brian?
You're in here.
Oh, sorry. Well, the Bluetooth picked up.
Aha.
My kids were screaming. I had to jump out of the car.
That's so funny. Yeah, you were talking about Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy's, back off the IR. He'll be playing today. The question will be how much action will he get? Will they give him full reps or not? The other rumor yesterday was the Panthers looking possibly for 3 first-rounders and Christian McCaffrey for Deshaun Watson, which I think is crazy. Obviously, they denied that and said it's not true. But, there's going to be a lot going on this week. I picked up Deshaun Watson in one league just to kind of see what happens. He's a number 1 quarterback. And if for some reason somebody wants to take a flyer and he gets to play, it could be somebody that makes a big playoff push for you.
All right, listen, it's week 8 in the NFL?
Yeah, man, we're almost at the halfway point here. It's pretty wild. So week 8 at quarterback, I like Joe Burrow against the New York Jets, Matt Ryan against the Carolina Panthers, and Daniel Jones going against Kansas City, whose defense just can't get anything done. I think the Giants could put up some points today against them. At running back, Darrell Williams going against the New York Giants, Damian Harris going against the LA Chargers. The Chargers have given up 6 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. And believe it or not, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Kenneth Gainwell against the Detroit Lions. For some reason, I actually think they're going to feed him the ball today. Now that Sanders is out, I think it's wild, but I think they're going to end up giving him and Boston Scott the ball. At wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, who's been an absolute monster going against Houston, Deebo Samuel against Chicago, and Brandon Cooks against the LA Rams. I think that game's going to get out of hand. Houston's going to have to throw the ball, and Cooks could come up with some big plays and some junk yardage. And do you want my Eagles prediction now?
Absolutely. Why not?
All right. You're not going to like it. I'm going with the Detroit Lions getting their first win today, 24-23 on a last-second field goal over the Eagles.
Say it ain't so. No, if that happens, Guru, do you think the Eagles are going to start unloading a lot of people?
I do. I absolutely. I think there's a couple teams that are on the brink of that. I think my Denver Broncos are the same as well. They could start unloading guys like Von Miller, Patrick Roby. There's just – I think after this weekend, a lot of teams have to make a decision on what their future for this year is, and they may try to stock up on some draft picks and go into a full rebuild mode. The Eagles have a lot of talented guys that, they could look to unload some of those big contracts because they are really going to be in a bad position with that high salary that they have this year and not being able to win games. They're going to need a lot of help going forward. But as we know, with the Eagles, doesn't matter. You can have all the draft picks in the world. If you don't pick the right players, it doesn't matter.
You got that right. Hey, Guru, we missed you yesterday. We wish you could have played with us, but maybe next time.
Yeah, I would have loved to. And, the sad part is everything got canceled yesterday because of the rain. So my schedule freed up.
And it turned out to be a beautiful day yesterday. The course was in magnificent shape.
It was. It was spectacular. I would have loved to have been out there with you guys, but maybe next year.
All right, fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, as always, we really appreciate it, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Love you, Hartley. Take care, buddy.
There he is. Brian Hartley, the fantasy football guru, is brought to you by Stella Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey, or give them a call at 609-399-1010. That's 609-399-1010. Second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is a private, award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience is not at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the mainline, at 484-804-4800 or visit him online anytime at motml.com. All right, when we return, we'll talk with former Eagles player John Dorenbos. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN.
Welcome back to the locker room with Billy Schweim. I'm Pete Thompson here on 97.3 ESPN, and I'm terribly excited to introduce our next guest to the show as he joins us on the StreamYard and the Barb's Harley-Davidson hotline, and that is the one, the only, John Dornbos. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy?
Rock on, baby. Thanks for having me.
Let me turn the police down here. Sorry about that. I'm producing, I'm hosting, I'm keeping Billy in line. There we go. All right, talk to me, Goose. How you doing, man? You're coming to Philly. Finally, you're getting to play like basically one good long snap away from Lincoln Financial Field.
Hey, first of all, what a great spot for a casino, right? If you've never been to Live Casino and Hotel in South Philly, it's amazing. It's beautiful, right next to all the stadiums. So this is what I call my hometown, my people. I'm coming home. I'm super excited. I'll be there November 6th, and it's going to be a good show. If you've seen the show before, we got some new stories. We got some new tricks. So it's going to be a good time.
Now, I have seen the show before. I saw you recently at the Borgata, caught you real quick. The funny thing is I've met you many times. You're a wonderful human being. You always have time for everybody that comes back and visits you. And by the way, if people email hello@johndornbos.com and put my name, Pete, in the subject line of that email, they'll get to come meet you. They got to buy tickets too, of course, but buy the tickets, and then they get the added bonus of being able to meet John Dornbos. So I've met you before, but the last time I saw you, John, it was like I felt like I was interrupting Jordan before he was getting ready to go out of the court. I felt like I was interrupting Tiger, before he was going. And you looked at me and you came over and said, "Hey, bro," you clapped me up, and then you're like, "Sorry, I gotta run through this stuff." Like you're an athlete. Like you're this is your pregame, and here you are meeting people.
I love it. I don't want to say this story full because it's part of my show now. My favorite part was sharing the NFL with people that didn't get to experience it. And so I would play a catch with a kid before every game, and it was me playing catch with my 12-year-old self when I lived in Seattle and I was a fan of the Mariners. So to me, meeting the fans, meeting the people that make it happen, meeting the people that are dreaming, that are aspiring, meeting the people that are taking their time to come either see you play or see you perform, that's one of the best parts of the night for me. So, email hello@johndornbos, no H in John. If you don't know how to spell my name, just Google NFL Magician. You'll remember that. Only thing that pops up. Put Pete in the subject line. Come meet me, and we're going to rock and roll.
Go ahead, Billy.
Hi, John. This is Billy Schweim, and John, I'm looking at your StreamYard, and as Pete was introducing you, you're like getting pumped up, you're so enthusiastic. It seems like everything you do is done with enthusiasm.
Well, you know what it is? It's done with an appreciation, man. I'm alive. Are you kidding me? So look, I've seen some bad things in the world. I had a near-death experience with open heart surgery. I got a 2.5-year-old daughter. There are so many reasons that to be happy and thankful to be alive that I focus more on those and not the naysayers and not the things in life that people think are trying to keep them down. So look, you guys are having me on your show. Are you kidding me? This is Rockstar, dude. Like, where else do I want to be except right here, right now? Hey, come on. Life is
That's it.
We're talking with John Dornbos, former Eagle. Now he's a magician. John, how did you get into magic? I mean, like what Pete and I were discussing before we brought you up. I always watched magicians and been enamored with them. Like, wow. But how did you pick up the ability to do this stuff? I mean, it just come naturally, or was it through years of work and preparation?
Oh, years. And so I lost both my parents when I was 12 years old. And from there, I saw a guy on TV named Bill Malone and a 16-year-old magician named Michael Groves. And believe it or not, when I first got into magic, it wasn't about performing and being cool and wanting to learn a trick. It was an escape, right? It was the only time I actually felt like a kid. And the sound of the riffle of the cards, man, that's where I started to organize things. That's where I started to be at peace. And so I would literally, this is no joke, right? I would sit at a table, light a candle, turn on Yanni track number 9, Felista, and I would just shuffle all night, man.
Really?
Yanni. Hey, I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time, and I've been seeing reports in the news too about Ricky Jay. Tell me about Ricky Jay and how much you'd like to buy just one of the books, right? I mean, like, I guess they're selling some of his stuff off, and he had this unbelievable collection.
Unbelievable. Well, Ricky Jay was he was an amazing magician, but a phenomenal card guy. He went on Broadway with basically a close-up show, killed it. He was an actor. You could see him in like Boogie Nights. He was in I think The Italian Job, whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, most people,
a lot of TV shows. Yep.
Yeah. If you don't know him as a magician, you're thinking Ricky Jay. If you Google him, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that guy. But yeah, he wrote a book called Cards as Weapons, which taught you actually how to throw cards, right? Phenomenal. I mean, he made his mark in the world of magic, and he's a part of history. So I would take anything to Ricky Jay's.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, Billy was talking about Magic early to open the show and talking about you being on. I said, you know what? I'm going to ask John what his thoughts are on Ricky J, because I've been seeing his name pop back up, and that's like a Mount Rushmore. But you know what? You're a Mount Rushmore with the Eagles, so much so that Jeffrey Lurie gave you a Super Bowl ring. I mean, you have captured the heart of the city, even while we helped you realize that your heart needed some work.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Hey, I'm gonna grab something here. Hey, do you guys?
Yes.
I love it. I don't have my ring. Do you guys know what McFarlane figures are? So they're these figurines. Yeah, there's these.
Look at that.
Yeah. These figurines that sorry, the green screen there. It's the figurines that and these are super expensive. They're like hundreds of dollars, right? So this just shows you Eagles fans. Long story short, this is not me. This is actually Kevin Mawai, the Hall of Fame center of the Titans. And he bought Kevin Mawai because he's like a center, looks like a long snapper, and he sanded him down and hand painted him to be me. And then
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? So people come over, like executives and Hollywood people,
and they're impressed.
Whoever. Oh my God, they're like, dude, you have a McFarlane figure? And I pick it up and I go,
look closer.
Yes, I
do. You're Dr. Galakowitz? Yes, I am. That was a great commercial.
By the way, John, you and I share something in common.
What do we got?
We're both born on July 21st.
You're a good man.
See that? You're cancer.
I knew there was something.
And you both have young daughters too, by the way. Billy talks about his daughter all the time. And you know how many Halloween costumes his daughter has, John? 4. He's like, I keep buying her costumes. Can this holiday come already?
Costumes, John.
My you know what? Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Hey, my daughter, believe it or not, God,
that's great.
A little flutter in my throat there.
For those of you on the not on the StreamYard, by the way, John just coughed up a deck of cards.
Lodged in there. My daughter's a Queen of Hearts. My wife found this. It's like literally a Queen of Hearts. So I will go as a skeleton, or I'm trying to find a King of Hearts last minute costume, but it's adorable. We'll post pictures. And she's
now, John, when you get dressed, I've had to get dressed up for the first 5 years of Halloween. I'm sure. Do you do the same thing for your daughter? I'm sure you do.
My daughter
dressed up.
Do I have to get dressed up for Halloween?
Yeah. Will you wear a costume?
I have to get dressed up on a random Tuesday, let alone Halloween. You know, we're having
for the tea party. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We're having dressed up tea parties in this house.
Right. We do that.
Oh yeah, we'll be dressed up. My wife loves Halloween.
Yeah.
John Dornbos is going to be at Live Casino Hotel in Philadelphia. That's this next Saturday, November the 6th. You can go to livecasinophilly.com if you want ticket information. And remember, he's offering email at put my name in the subject line, first of all, and then email hello@johndornbos.com and put Pete in the subject line, and you can add to your ticket value by getting a meet and greet, as John's with us here on the Barb's Harley Davidson hotline. John, we didn't talk any football, and I love that because the two teams playing today are pretty bad. We since it's a sports show, we probably should ask you your thoughts on the current state of that football team in South Philadelphia.
You know what's hard, and look, I played a long time, right? I played 14 years. I got 162 straight games as an Eagle. I tied Harold Carmichael, so I was able to see a lot. And I was there in the transition when the game changed in a lot of ways, whether it was rule change, whether it was expectation. I just think it's unfair to have and this is league wide. It's not just Philly. It's so unfair to these young quarterbacks that are coming out that are expected to just go in there and dominate and win games. Anytime you have, a guy like Jalen Hurts or somebody that can scramble. This is what I think. No matter what, they're probably going to have short-term success because they're new. And then all of a sudden you get these D coordinators that figured all it takes is one D coordinator to figure out the weakness, and then everybody else copies. So to me, it's such a high expectation league. There's so much money involved. It's a win now league. If we don't win, just unload and do it again. There's no rebuilding, right? And it makes it really hard because the front office, the coach, the players, the staffing, everybody needs to be on the same page to win. That's what it takes. And if they're not, then it's just, if you don't have the athletes, I love Chip Kelly. I love playing for Chip Kelly, but when you got Sam Bradford running a run and shoot offense who, look, I'm slow. I might be faster than Sam. And I love Sam, one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. But that's like asking me to be a running back in the NFL. So if you don't have the athletes to run what you're trying to run, if you don't have the experience, if you don't have a lot of things clicking, it's hard. So I wish it would go back to just give quarterbacks 2-3 years to just sit back and just see the difference and learn. And I think there'd be a lot more success, but it's just not the way it is.
Yeah. Truly develop. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. And I was in Oakland, whether they turned the ball over or not, ball was on the ground way too much. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, whether it's getting knocked out as it goes out of bounds, whatever. So you got to hold on to that thing.
John, yesterday Pete and I had a golf tournament. We had a former Philly Tommy Green, former Eagle Brad Quast, and a lot of other guys down there. But we were talking about the one difficult thing about after football. Now, you have Magic, but the one thing that they try to communicate with us is the camaraderie that you guys, that sense of loss. Talk to us a little bit real quickly about what it means that the team, the camaraderie, the chemistry of a team. How important is that, and how much do you miss that?
I mean, if there's anything that I have experience, I think I was a cultured camaraderie guy. I think that's why I lasted as long as I did, because I was a locker room guy.
Right.
That's huge. I mean, you look at when the Eagles were really successful, you could argue it wasn't a team of superstars, right? When they went to all the NFC championships and the Super Bowl back in the early 2000s, they had a group of guys that loved each other. They had a group of guys that would run through a brick wall for Coach Reed. So to me, chemistry is number one, not a team of superstars, chemistry. And nobody else knows what's going on except the people in that locker room. We can all speculate and do whatever we want, but nobody knows the click except those guys. So camaraderie and chemistry, to me, if I'm going to put a championship team together, that would be number one.
Wow.
And if I'm going to put a championship show together, it's going to be called John Dornbos at Philly Live. I know how to do these plugs. Go to hello@johndornbos.com. Send that email. Put my name, Pete, in the subject line. You'll get the added value of the meet and greet backstage with John before the show. Plus, it's livecasinophilly.com is the web address to get the tickets. November 6th, that's coming fast. That is next Saturday.
I'm going to bring my doopy-doo over there to see John.
There you go. Bring my
daughter.
Get up there and see a show.
I'll come up and say hi to you.
Just make sure you email hello@johndornbos.
Right, and then he has to put the winning golfer's name and see. What he didn't say, John, is that I beat him in golf. He was talking smack like he was going to kick my butt and all this stuff. And you know what, John? He got an injury. He was DNF. He did not finish. He only played 13 holes, and he had to limp off.
But John, it was like Charlie Morton-esque. Kurt Schilling, bloody sock, Kurt Gibson-esque type of a performance out of it. I just couldn't fit. I couldn't even walk.
Well, you know, it's the classic. You can talk all you want, but did you beat me?
You know how Donovan McNabb played on a broken ankle? It's kind of what I did yesterday.
Hey,
oh, man. It's too funny to sit here and listen to him spin. Hey, John Dornbos, we can't thank you enough for the time. We can't thank you enough for coming on the StreamYard with us. We can't thank Tim Mooney enough for all his efforts. That's your right-hand man, right? Everybody needs a consigliere, and Atlantic County, Atlantic City zone, Tim Mooney, right? You know, that's our guy.
I love Tim. He's been everything. So, Moon, you're probably listening, man. Let's get this done. Let's rock and roll. November 6th. How about this? Most people might not want to meet me. If you want to meet Tim Mooney, email you and put in Pete in the subject line.
That's right. He's got email too. Just hook it up. We love you, buddy. And thank you so much. We won't even ask you a prediction unless you want to give one. Do you want to give a prediction for today's Eagles game?
Oh, yeah. Eagles a lot and Detroit a little.
All right. So I'm going to go Eagles 50, Detroit 10. That's what I'll say.
That's even more forgiving than I thought. But
the Lions stay winless, according to John. All right, John. Take care, buddy. We appreciate you.
Love you guys. Thanks.
All right. See you, man.
See you.
All right. Hey, I want to remind people that the locker room at Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day. You got about an hour, a few hours, about 15 minutes.
Is he not one of the best guests ever?
Was he pumped up? You see him? He was like,
he's fired up. He was sitting until the thing came. It's like, red lights on. Whoop, I got to stand. Okay, let's go.
During Eagles season on game day,
$5.
Get an Italian hoagie for $5. When you mention the locker room, get down there to Blitz's. Go get your hoagies. Blitz is at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Blitz is now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com. Give them a call at 609-399-9983. That's Blitz's Market. It's home to Dill Pickle Hoagie. It's really a big deal. Great Bay, the Great Bay Country Club sponsors the second hour as they have been. They're a great place to play golf. It's a great place to play golf. Radio Ron Ralston does a wonderful job. We want to thank him so much for putting us up yesterday. For more information on how to become a member,
we're like that relative that he's like, we'll see you next year.
Trying to hurry us out of there. For more information, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Hey, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dudek. or will you wear their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey and attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and sees it fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll give our Eagles predictions for the day. Pete Thompson, Billy Schweim, The Locker Room on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Hey, Pete, how about what we just saw the Eagles inactive list?
Yeah, there's a surprise on the inactive list. Came out while we were talking to John Dornbos, and Eric Wilson, the linebacker, is kind of a healthy surprise scratch right there. I mean, I saw one tweet from Jeff Kerr, who joins Gil all the time. Jeff Kerr tweeted out, and then I saw it somewhere else too, that Eric Wilson's the healthy scratch. And I mean, this guy, he was a starter in week 1, and now he's a scratch in week 8.
How about this, Pete? We know something's been, I mean, the linebackers have been god-awful.
They have.
And John Dornbos just said it, like, we don't know what's going on. No one knows what goes on inside the locker room, outside the locker room. We're not privy to that information, not reporters. We don't know what's going on.
Well,
for them to be that bad.
They can't evaluate linebackers clearly. I mean, this is another failed free agent linebacker signing by Howie Roseman.
Yeah,
Think about
it. Going on.
Listen, Howie Roseman signed Corey Nelson. Didn't work out. Zach Brown didn't work out. L.J. Fort didn't work out. Now, Fort was good, but he wasn't good in Philly because they cut him, and then he was good somewhere else, I mean, look, the rest of the scratches, by the way, or the inactives, scratches. What are we talking hockey? Anthony Harris. Now, he was doubtful right on the final injury.
But he's on
Zach McPherson's out, Reed Stinnett, Sua Opeta, Jack Anderson, and Mac McCain. Those are your inactives.
Gil has the Eagles losing or the Lions winning 28-24. Grayson thinks the Eagles 27-14. The fantasy football guru has the Lions winning in a close one, 24-23. Doran Boss, 50-10 Eagles. He thinks it's going to be a blowout. What say you?
I have them losing the game by a field goal. I have it 34-31 Detroit. So I have Detroit winning the game as well.
34-31. That's the PT.
And you?
And I'm going to say until they show me something different, I can't pick the Eagles.
So
I'm inclined to agree with the fantasy football guru. I think the Lions win this game 26-24.
26-24.
Yeah.
You see who's on the phone? Do you want me to put this person on?
You want to get him on for a quick second, get his pick in there?
All right. Scooter, you're on the air.
Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline. Scott McKay.
Am I on?
Real quick,
you're on.
About a minute.
All right. So listen, I listened to some of the trash talk in there. Not good. Pete Thompson giving me crap because he beat me on one hole.
Dude, you didn't pick up my hat. We got to tell that story. If somebody leaves a hat where the golf ball is, you're supposed to pick it up and bring it back.
Well, that's Tommy Green. It was his ball. He didn't pick it up. But you've heard the cliche that every blind squirrel finds a nut. Well, for you, it's every nut finds a blind squirrel. And with Billy, excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got one and they all stink.
That's true.
So it's like, listen, that was a long day yesterday. It was tough to play in those conditions.
We had a lot of fun. Give us your pick, Scooter.
Yeah, what's your pick for the game?
Eagles 27, Lions 21.
Wow.
You're taking the Eagles?
You're one of the few. Scott Grayson picked them too.
Wow. Well, I can't go with the Eagles until they beat somebody.
Well, how can you go with the Lions? They haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah, but they've been a better team, I think. They're better than their 0-7 record indicates. Better. If it wasn't for a 61-yard field goal or whatever, 66 or however long that Justin Tucker field goal was, 66, I think, by the way. All right, Scotty McKay, I'm glad that Corvette made it home safely. I've never seen that car before. No wonder you never drive. That was the nicest car I've ever seen in my life.
That's right. And I got home quick, that's for sure.
Yeah, keep that in the garage, baby. Keep that covered up.
I know. Daily driver. All right, guys.
All right, Scooter. We'll talk to you next time.
Pal.
Hey, listen, the Detroit Lions pulled out all the stops last week against the Rams. They did a fake punt. They did 2 fake punts. They did all kind of trickery. Onside kick.
Could we just applaud my producing skills?
Look, I'm congratulating you.
I basically hot punched McKay on the air, and it worked.
That's because I'm helping you out. I'm guiding you.
And then he says, "Are we on?" Yeah, you're on. I said you're on the air.
Pete Thompson.
I feel like Larry King. Caller, are you there?
Pete Thompson, what a great weekend we had.
I enjoyed your company
Yesterday
very
was
much.
Magnificent. Thanks to Radio Ron Ralston and the Great Bay Country Club.
Thanks for letting me win.
Thanks to John Dorenbos, Scott Grayson today, the fantasy football guru. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Stay tuned for the Eagles pregame show. It's the 2-5 Eagles against the 0-7 Lions. Coming up next right here on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Pete and I will see you next week.